Tax Day. Tragedy struck up in Boston. Definitely our thoughts are with the people in the Northeast trying to... I mean, it's just without getting political or without getting too spiritual, but it just is stupid that we have to even talk about those things like the bombing there in Boston, and unbelievable. Our society is just freaking wacko. Well, the NDRL, the National Dirt Racing League, got their 2 shows in. Rains were threatening again. Josh Richards, he picks up one of the victories, and as did Jimmy Owens. Tonight on the program, we got Chris Wall calling in. We got a young man who won the Hornet race at Florence. His name's Colin Green. He's going to call and talk to us. And of course, he comes from a long line of racers there. I just can't quit thinking about this stuff in Boston. We're also going to have David Breazeale calling. He's competed races against Wall on the Mississippi State Championship Challenge Championship. I have to look at it, make sure. And then to end the program, Austin Hubbard. Been after Austin for a long time. I got to film one of his famous Ricky Bobby reenactments in Victory Lane. It was at Screven a couple years ago. Pretty cool. But I just lost Gray. I can't say without further ado. He just disappeared. Also like to welcome anybody that's joining us on InTheDirtRadio.com. It's up this week, ready to go. Top right-hand portion of the website, on the front page, you'll see it where it says live stream. You can go there and check out the show every week, or you can follow the link when we paste it onto Facebook and listen to us on Blog Talk. But without further ado...
Woo! Webb, another freaking messed up day, huh?
It's just, I don't know. It's just, not that I'm numb to it. It's nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to the stuff that happens in the world, I guess. I guess that's why us in dirt track racing sink ourselves in our community. I mean, luckily for us in our community, in the racing community, we don't have to deal with such things. I guess we have to deal with, the rare occasion when something bad happens at the racetrack. That happens. But that's something that we know is possible. If somebody gets hurt or even worse, which we won't mention worse. But this stuff, man, I mean, these people were just out enjoying the day, watching the marathon, and garbage happens. Unbelievable.
Well, surely our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, but on a lighter note, we got some good racing in this weekend.
Yeah, matter of fact, I don't know if you heard me prior, but we got Colin Green from your guys' neck of the woods. He raced over Florence over the weekend. He was the victor at the big Hornet show. And
you know what? That's got me thinking too. All the Greens, I mean, they're all from Kentucky.
Now, they related to the Greens who recently were in NASCAR?
You know what? That'd be a good question to ask.
I mean,
I think he's related to Brandon Green.
That's his dad.
And then is that his dad? Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's Trent Green that runs a modified. I don't know if they're related. And then there's the other Green boys that race down there in Kentucky. So I mean, does that have something to do with bluegrass? Maybe they're trying to, bad joke.
Well, another live. About 15 years ago, I drove a concrete truck, and I heard Green. I can't remember which Green it was that raced NASCAR, but they were from Owensboro, and they were talking to one of the Greens about how how he got to be racing, and he said that he learned the most from driving a concrete mixer. And I thought, 15 years ago, man, there's still a chance for me. I drive a concrete mixer. But not.
You drove a concrete mixer?
Buddy, I got a Class A CDL. I went breaker 1 across this great country of ours.
Wow, I just learned something about Webb Dillard. I never knew you drove.
Yeah, I drove. I drove a over the road truck for Osborne Trucking, which it didn't end nicely. It ended with me threatening to park the truck in their hallway.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Because they weren't giving me any miles, and I told the dispatcher, "Move your truck, because I'm parking this right next to your office door." And then
I was going to drive one right into the middle of the Great Miami River once.
Yeah, I mean,
my boss met me really quick because he knew I wasn't playing.
Well, the guy that trained me was named Mr. Boatfield, and he called me. I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he called and he said, and he was a real old school Southern country fella, and a real slow talker. Mr. Dillard, and I said, "Yeah, Mr. Boatfield." And he said, "Rumor has it you're going to drive the truck through the hallway." And I said, "Well, the only reason you're calling me is because you must believe me." And he goes, "I believe you." He said, "But don't do it." And I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Somebody tried." It didn't work out too well for him. So I parked it and went across the street, and I drove mixer trucks for 2 years. You talk about making you-know-what sense you up. Mixer truck could do just that. Most dangerous thing on the highway.
A cement mixer?
Yeah.
Got to be the heaviest.
Yeah, I mean, I actually learned how to drive on an all-wheel. I know this is not what the people tune in to hear, but I learned on an all-wheel. But anyway, yeah, they would definitely make certain parts of your body.
I bet there's probably quite a few people that, in the sport that drive concrete mixing trucks.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I got that feeling.
I don't know. I could. I mean, I'm not above it. I could go back to it if I had to. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I just was. I always had sort of an inkling to do kind of what I'm doing now. So, in the dirtradio.com is up. Did you know that?
Yes.
And it's still work in progress. We were hoping it would have a live feed. I don't think it does right now. I've got Mr. Alan Bradley checking it out. He said it's live, but I mentioned Boston in the first part of the show, and he said we hadn't mentioned it yet. So let me tell him to go to this other link. So when is Brian Gray going to be racing? Soon.
We got lots of motors to build, but I am awaiting parts. I got 2 in progress, and they're real close. So I think, like I said last week, we're about 3 weeks, maybe 2 more weeks. About that, yeah. But what about this guy we got coming on? Didn't he drive Chad Stapleton's car at that NDRL race?
Yeah, Austin Hubbard teamed up with. We'll talk to him at the end of the program. Yeah, it's pretty cool that. I want to know how those two got hooked up, because Austin's already a character I know just from stuff that he's done with his Ricky Bobby Victory Lanes. But to be teamed up, have a car like Stapleton. That had to be fun. They had some videos on. Bud McCool, I'm sure, was there because they went golfing at one point, and there was some video of them, I think, golfing, so we'll talk to them about that. But let's go ahead and move forward in the program. We got our first guest waiting for us. It's 10 after 6 here. Welcome to the program, the Intimigator, Chris Wall. Chris, welcome to In the Dirt.
Good to be there. Nice. I'm glad y'all invited us to be out today.
Well, we tried to get you on here for I don't know, about a better part of a year, and every time I would text the missus, she'd say, "Well, call him on his number. You were hunting or fishing or doing something." So thanks.
We stay quite active.
Yeah, who was the guy, real quick, who was the guy riding the knee board behind the four-wheeler?
That probably was me.
I thought it was you. Well, Chris, you guys, one of the fan favorites here in the Southeast, especially over in Mississippi. You guys recently teamed up in the last year, with Childress Racing. Things seem to be going good with the new team. Talk to us about the relationship there at Childress.
Man, it has been a blessing for me. We were talking about retiring there, really scaling back hard, and in doing that, Mr. Childress and Josh Danzy, those guys offered us a ride over there to team up with them. You know, they have top-notch equipment. They just hadn't they hadn't had the opportunity to taste much success. They were hungry to get somebody in there that could get the job done and bring some experience to the team. And man, our marriage there it's really gelled. It's all come together. It's such good people to be a part of. Now I consider them great friends of mine.
Well, you mentioned that you were talking about retirement. I mean, so did he actually coax you out of it? Because when you announced it, it was a shock, and then it wasn't so much longer later that you guys were back. So did they coax you, and were you relieved to be back?
Yeah, and I joke around, kid around, and say I would have retired a long time ago if I knew I was going to land a ride like this. It really was. It was an avenue. I knew I needed to slow down, spend more time with family. My business was starting to suffer some, and by teaming up with the Childress organization, it allowed me to, come home on Monday instead of, me and a couple other guys full time having to work on race cars or race at that level. Now I can take care of business and spend more time with the family, and they can take care of, good, bad, or ugly, win, lose, or draw, wreck, or whatever, they handle it. They take care of it, and, they call and say, hey, what do you want on the car this week? So it's really just a blessing for me.
Well, before we get to the Mississippi State Series, you guys have a relationship with Don O'Neill that stems back a couple of years. What brought you and O'Neill together and having 71 cars matching there at special events?
Well, actually, before I got hooked up with Mr. Childress, running on the Lucas Oil Series, you become friends, and it's kind of like a family when you're on the road, and both of us driving Masters-built cars, develop that relationship, and Don being a part of the Dirt Racing Outreach Ministries as well while we were on the road, and really made some big changes in his life. And anyhow, just really come to know and love Don O'Neill. When you get him out of the race for me, he's really a cool guy. I mean, a lot of people probably really don't know the real Don O'Neill. But anyhow, and then having the common denominator of Ronnie Stuckey and Stuckey Enterprises. I always ran Stuckey cars. Childress does as well, and his close connection with Masters built, and then also the mooring, all of Larry Mooring's equipment comes from Ronnie Stuckey, who Don O'Neill also drives. So it's kind of there's a connection there all the way around. Yeah,
and like we said earlier when we first started, you're a fan favorite, especially in Mississippi. What do the Mississippi fans mean to Chris Wall?
Look, that Mississippi area is where we cut our teeth in dirt late model, and the fans have rallied behind us for years, and we've just had a ball interacting with the fans. It's no secret that we own and run an alligator farm, and being able to use that to connect with the kids and the kid. Well, I guess the adults as well, but they love a lot of the kids. They don't know Chris Wall. It's the alligator man or that gator guy or something like that, and so it's really been a fun ride to be able to interact and to have such passionate fans in that Mississippi area.
Well, and not only there, not only Mississippi, but wherever you go, it seems like over here at Green Valley Speedway by me, I've seen you here, we got a good fan reaction. But you had a particularly good fan reaction at I believe it was Cleveland Speedway. You did something very charitable. Can you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
Well, there's a saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. And good Lord has blessed us through the years, and we were over there for a special event race, not last year, but the year before, and there was some tornadoes just tore through the area. And one of an elderly family that worked at the track for years and years, they were kind of a stable in the racing community there. They lost everything. Their house was wiped out. The husband, which was in his late 70s or early 80s, was actually picked up by the storm, thrown into a field. They found him in a nearby field, just beat and bruised, but no broken bones. Unbelievable that he really was not hurt that bad. And my heart just went out to that family, and I told the crew before we went out, we were starting, I don't remember, maybe 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere's there that night. I said, win, lose, or draw, whatever we win tonight is going to that family. And I called it before we ever went on the racetrack, and I told Monty before that, and I pulled him to the side. I didn't want any recognition for that. I was like, Monty, I just want you to know, we're not coming to the pay window tonight. Just I want you to take that money and you put it to that family. And I actually asked him, don't say anything, just do it. And anyhow, lo and behold, there was a wreck on the first lap, took out 4 or 5 cars in front of us, and we had a really good race car. We drove up to the front and won the race, and it was really an honor to be able to, Monty brought that family to Victory Lane, and we got to take pictures with them and present them with the winner's check and the real check. And it was really a special time, and I was really proud to be a part of that, and it was a cool thing.
Well, Facebook was never going to allow that to be a secret. I think I knew that night. I mean, I think that speaks, just so much about the guy that you are outside the race car. And I'm sure. Those family had to appreciate it. Moving on to the Mississippi State Series, and I also work for the Neesmith Series. No secret, I'm their media director. And
okay.
even in our neck of the woods racing, Mississippi is just a hotbed of talent, even in the crates. Just day in and day out. But looking here at the top 12 of this Mississippi State Series, there's not a slouch. You're up against it with Breazeale and Baggett, Rickman, your teammate Robinson, Chad Thrash, another Rickman. Tell us about the Mississippi State Series.
It's we didn't necessarily start the year saying we were going to run that series this year, and their first few races just fell in place in our schedule. We got to looking on down the line, and there's only a conflict on 1 or 2 races, and Mr. Childress and them never won a championship, and so we got to talk about it. Hey guys, what do y'all think if we run this thing for points? And I think we could have some fun doing it. And BJ, he's eligible for rookie, and heck, he had a little bad luck this past weekend. He's got enough talent to get up there and battle for a championship. I really believe that. And anyhow, that seems to be the plan right now. And then to go out and it seemed like the last few races, us and David Breazeale has just been up there qualifying up front and racing each other hard. And man, that's one class act guy right there. We've got to race for years with David. I'm not taking anything away from the rest of the guys, but this weekend it just seemed like it was a battle of me and David there. And anyhow, it's a great group of guys. Everybody there races real clean. You're always going to have a few fender benders, but we're really having fun running the series.
Yeah, Dave's going to be on the show with here a little bit later once we get done talking with you and another guest. But we have something in common. I actually outran David in go-karts in Arizona beginning of the year.
Okay.
the Dirt on Dirt guys, a few of us got together with the Breazeale crew. We went out to this go-kart track, and it was it wasn't no Candyland go-kart track. It was a real deal. And
yeah.
a few times he made me tap on the brake because he would just come bonsai in front of me. But anyway, yeah, I did finish ahead of David, so we have that in common.
That's good.
Well, all right. Well, Chris, thank you very much for joining us here on In the Dirt. We're not going to keep you. Thank you for taking time away from your family this Monday evening to talk with us. What's upcoming, and I want you to thank some of the crew members and also the sponsors.
Well, this coming week we're running the state series at Jackson, and then 2 weeks after that we'll be at one of my favorite tracks, the Bull Ring in Columbus, Mississippi, for a 1-day 5,000 to win. And I can't say enough about Childress Racing and what they've done for us, and I want to throw a couple shouts out. One for my crew chief, Josh Danzy, always gives us a dependable race car, and PRP Shocks, my old crew chief, Darryl Posey, has really stepped up to the plate building shocks for us, and man, he's probably the biggest secret under our race car. He's really helped us pick our program up. Talking
to Chris Wall, one of the true gentlemen of our sport. Chris, good luck with the rest of your guys' season, and hope to catch you at a speedway. Hey, next time Don drives a 71, don't make the cars look so alike because it messes with the cameraman.
We like keeping you confused.
Because I would leave the front of the pack, to go find something else, and I come back and say, all right, which one's Don and which one's Chris? So good luck, and y'all be careful.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
All right, Chris Wall.
Bye-bye.
He's one of my favorite interviews too. When at the racetrack, when I'm he'll give you. You don't even have to ask him to give you more when you're talking about something. He'll give it to you.
He's got it all right there, ready for you.
Yeah, I mean it's just so. Some guys are just like it's just like extracting teeth from to get. Hey, how was the car? It's all right. Well, you won the race. How does that feel? I feel good. Not Chris.
Car was good.
Yeah,
Crew was good.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the Ricky Bobby thing.
I even had one guy who said, "Well, you obviously watched the race, didn't you?" And it's like, really? That's what you want on dirt? That's your big quote. Anyway,
watch the race.
I don't watch the race until I get back to the hotel and I'm editing, and when I'm shooting, I got more to worry about besides watching the race.
You know what's the only bad thing about being there watching is that you don't really see everything. You think you do, but you really don't.
No,
I go back and I watch the videos afterwards, and I'm like, "Why? I was right there. I didn't see that."
Well, you have to, and also too, as a camera guy, I'm more of a myopic view of the situation. It's a singular. Unless I'm scanning the field, it's tough to keep up with everything.
Yeah, speaking about myopic views, have you seen the YouTube video of the camera guy who's filming this wreck, and he's standing against the wall and he's filming the crash, and you're waiting for him to move, and he never moves.
There is such a I can't remember what it's called, but I don't know if there's a syndrome. I don't know it, but there is such a thing about getting lost in the viewfinder that you think you're safe. That it's like a voyeur, some kind of voyeurism thing that you think you're safe, that you're separated from the danger, and not so much. I know which one you're talking about. I think the only thing that got broken in that situation was the tripod, right?
Yeah, I think that's the only part that managed. Like he just miraculously, this car missed him and just and I don't even think it broke the camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like those guys at Daytona this year. I mean, I'd want to be right there at the start-finish line where that guy was when what was the kid's name? Lawson.
Right. Speaking of who won the truck race this weekend too.
Who did he wreck?
I don't think he wrecked anyone. I think he just outclassed everybody. That kid is bad to the bone, man.
Yeah, he's a good driver. I was just kidding about who you wrecked. Well, all right, we've got our next driver on the line. Let's welcome to the program, big winner of the weekend at Florence in the Hornet division, Colin Green. Colin Green, welcome to In the Dirt.
Oh, how are you?
So you guys, well, first of all, we had a question. You guys being from Kentucky with the last name Green, are you related to all the Greens that raced out of Kentucky?
Yeah, my grandpa Bill Green, and then Willie Green's my uncle. My dad's Brandon Green, and there's Troy and Gary Green as well.
What about the guys that race for Labonte? I can't remember either of their first names right now. Jeff,
is it David Green?
David Green and Jeff Green, is that what it is?
I'm not for sure about that.
What about Trent Green?
Yeah, Trent Green.
Yeah. He's related to most of them.
Well,
now, is there something about Kentucky and the Green name? I don't know any. I don't. All the Greens that I know of live in Kentucky.
All right. Well, with my grandpa, Bill Green, he kind of started it all off and broke into the racing thing with his sons and everything, and then me.
Now, you're probably like me, Colin. You were kind of like born into racing. It was never really a dispute of whether you were going to be a part of it or not. Is that how you feel? Is that like, do you feel like it's your legacy to carry on because of your family's lineage?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up around the track, always helping my dad out and everything on the race cars. I've always been around them. I was waiting to get into one, and then they opened up this Hornet class at Florence last year, and that was my opportunity to get into racing for a cheaper price.
Now, a friend of mine on Facebook named Ashley Landrum, I think I pronounced her last name right. She says you're a heck of a guy, and you're friends with her brother. What's the entire class like of the Hornet class there at Lawrence?
Everyone in the Hornet class is pretty. We all talk to each other and everything. We communicate and help each other out how we can. And there's a lot of good drivers in it, a lot of new drivers too. I don't know, I like the track, how it's just kind of like a beginner track for everyone and gets you into racing, and everyone's just there to have fun.
You guys started out last year, run, I think, a partial schedule last year. You didn't run a full season last year, right?
No, last year started a full season with Florence when it came to the Hornets. I didn't join until about 3 weeks in. I was still building my car. I was a little late on that.
So this will be your first full season at Florence in the Hornet class.
Right.
Now, is there a timeline? Has your dad Brandon? Is there a timeline for you guys to move up a class, or what's the outlook for Colin Green racing?
Well, with this being my second year of Hornets, I think next year we're going to try to move me up in something bigger. Whether it being a pure stock or modified, we're not for sure yet. We're still just trying to handle the Hornets.
I mean, I'm not a crew chief or mechanic, and certainly don't know anything about a late model. What do you guys have to do to these? What can you do to the Hornets to make them perform?
Well, the Hornets, it's a stock class. Motor has to be stock and everything. Really, you just strip down a car, reinforce everything you need to, put a cage in it, and make sure everything's tight and go race it.
Now you guys are. I haven't looked at the points. Are you guys in the points lead early in the season, or how does the track handle that? Is there a points fund for the Hornets?
Yeah, there's a points fund with it. Well, for me, the first weekend I went out there, we had my new car and we refreshed the motor and everything, and went out there and blew that one up. So for the next weekend, the race that I just ran this Saturday, we had to use the spare car, which was going to go up to Moeller Raceway and run Fridays. But with my car blown up, we had to take that one to Florence, and we wound up getting a win with it.
Now, hey Brian, this class here, this class is kind of a throwback. I mean, I would imagine that if you blow a motor in one of these cars, you have to go to the junkyard to get a motor.
Right.
That's pretty much the idea behind it. And I think that everybody's trying to keep it that way too. They want to make sure it doesn't get out of hand like the street stocks did over the last few years. Racing needed something. Needed an entry-level class, and I believe that this is probably about as close as we have, considering what cars are available out there. So,
hey Colin, if I was to decide to to get me a Hornet or a pony car or whatever you want to call it, a 4-cylinder stock, whatever it is, what are you driving? What do I need to get to go? What do I need to get in and be competitive?
Well, I drive a Cavalier Z24, 2.4 liter, and when it comes to stats and everything, the Cavaliers have the most horsepower. But there's a lot of Neons out there. I don't know if their motors are close to as strong, but they're smaller cars, and they seem to run with the Cavaliers. But between a Cavalier and a Neon, that's what to go with.
Who's the top 5? Who's the top 5 Hornet guys or gals there at the at Speedway?
At Florence, well, this season being new and all, the last race was really all I got to see of us, and it was me, Trevor Landrum, Michael Hensley, TJ Dalton, and Mike Gimmer, I believe.
And is this now? I don't know. Does Florence run on a weekly basis, or is it once or twice a month? I mean, how many races do you guys put on those cars in a season, or will put on in a season?
I'm not for sure about how many races are in a season, but it's weekly, every Saturday night.
Brian? Are these cars disposable per year? Do you race them more than 1 year? You can answer too, Colin.
It seems like these guys are doing that. I know quite a few guys that have replaced old cars this year. I don't know how it's going to go. I think it's probably right now it's at that economy level where it's almost cheaper to just go and get a different car and take your roll cage and stuff out of the old one and put in the new one. Besides changing a motor or anything. I think if they keep the rules locked down like they are and they don't let things get out of hand, like there's also, I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Colin, is there a claim rule at Florence for the car?
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of claim rule, but I don't know all that's to it. We really haven't had to worry about claiming anyone's car. Everyone seems pretty competitive with each other at Florence.
Well, I mean, from what I understand is that the racetrack can claim the car.
Oh.
Not necessarily a driver. I think what it is, Webb, is that there's a claim rule that if the track believes that somebody is, has not, I'm not going to say an unfair advantage, but if they see somebody that they feel might have such an advantage, the track has the right to buy the car and do with it as they wish.
And that's supposed to keep the I guess they're about equal footing.
Right. It's like the claim rule used to be with the modifieds. You used to have this deal in the modifieds that anybody that finishes on the lead lap of the feature can claim the winner, first, second, third, fourth, fifth place guy's motor, and you had to give it up. I think at one point in time it was like $500. And that kept the modified stuff, I mean, really, really reasonable and competitive. And like right now, you don't see the same guy winning in the compacts all the time. So maybe we need to keep that in place. And then eventually, they got rid of the claim rule and the modifieds, and all that stuff got out of hand. And now it costs you more money to run a modified than it does a late model.
Dang. Well, Colin, hey, congratulations on the big win over the weekend. You had a listener had called and requested that we get you on since it was such a big win for you. So you got a big fan of Mr. Jeff Allsup. He's a good friend of the show. So before we let you get out of here, I want you to thank any of the people that helped turn the wrenches on the car, and also thank any of the sponsors that you got.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Jeff for giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys. And I'd like to thank Tony Antrobus. He's been with me through my racing career. He's always helped out, always taught me a lot. My dad's done as well, always been there right by my side, teaching me what I need to know. My friend Cody Gamble, my brother Kobe, and my family who's just supported me through the racing.
Well, Colin, good luck. Go ahead. Sorry.
We don't really have any sponsors yet, but my dad's business is Complete Auto Care, and his stickers on the car.
Well, make sure you tell your dad thanks for helping set this up. We spoke earlier today. I'm assuming while you were at school, but we'll we're gonna keep tabs on you through Jeff and probably through the DRC and other avenues. So good luck with the rest of the season, and maybe we'll talk to you again here on In the Dirt.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Colin Green, Hornet driver out of Kentucky. He's going to be doing some big things there. Let's just keep this thing rolling, Brian. I think we got Mr. David Breazeale on the line now. David Breazeale, welcome to In the Dirt.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Now, Dave, we were talking to Chris Wall earlier, and you know he had edged you in an event in a Mississippi State Challenge here, I guess last weekend.
Oh, it was actually Saturday night.
Saturday night. Edged you. And I said, Chris, we got a little in common, man. I beat him in go-karts out in Arizona. I had to mention the go-karts. Well, we had a great time out there with the Dirt on Dirt guys that showed up, and we raced your guys' crew. You guys still got to be talking about that, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun. We look forward to going out there every year. And like I said, you know, after you've been out there a couple of years, you run out of something to do. But when, you know, when the go-kart stuff come up this year, it was really fun, and look forward, you know, to doing it again next year.
Oh yeah, us guys are already trying to get as many other drivers involved, so maybe we can be out there all day and have about 10 heat races in a big feature. There might be some yellow flags there if that happens.
Well, I just hope I get a better kart than I had this past year.
It was like there was only like 4 good ones.
Yeah, I think I got the slowest one out there.
And we got beat by a Frenchman, I think. I think a Frenchman won the whole deal. That's not very American. Anyway,
no,
so back to the real racing. You guys,
you know what a Merkin is, don't you?
American?
Yeah.
I know.
What is it?
Nobody knows what a Merkin is.
No.
Google it, dude. It's real.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just talking like George Bush. I was just being silly.
I know, but it sounded like you said Merkin.
Oh, no. But back to the real racing.
But Google it for real.
I got to do this interview, Brian. Dave, you guys, the 54 car is very familiar around the racetracks there in Mississippi. And, of course, you guys get out and go to some of the bigger events like Arizona. And I asked Chris Wall the same question. I'm going to ask you the same question. What is it like to have a fan base like Mississippi behind all its drivers? I mean, you guys, every show is packed usually. I've never seen a bad show there as far as fan turnout. What's the Mississippi fans mean to you guys?
Well, it means a lot to me. I mean, of course, you want to win for your home crowd. But I mean, we do like racing off, and I wish we could race a little more, few more bigger shows throughout the year. But with my work schedule, and I'm sure Chris is the same way, it's keeping us closer to the house. And like I said, enjoy racing in front of them. They're great fans, and they're die hard for their driver. I mean, they either like you or they don't. But I mean, it's all good and enjoy it. I just wish we could get out and race a little more on the road with the national guys.
All right, you guys are still with the Henderson crew, right?
Right.
Talk to us about that, driving for the Hendersons, and also, I guess it was it the Fall Classic last year where Leon got hurt pretty bad?
Oh, I think so. I'm not. I think that was a race. I think it was the last race of the year at Why Not, which that would have been the Fall Classic. But great group of guys. I mean, Leon and them, they give me everything I need to go race, and Wayne and Brandon and Corey, they do all the maintenance and stuff on the cars, and like I said, I just get to show up and drive, and it makes it a lot easier on me. But I mean, they do all the work. I'm just the lucky one that gets to drive it.
I mean, other than like the Fall Classic and the cotton picking, what are some other events that we're going to see you guys at outside of the Mississippi area this year?
Well, I love going to the Topless and the Show Me and stuff like that. Just depending on we didn't really want to get tied up in a points deal this year, and still not sure if we're going to follow it through. You get tied up in the points racing, you have to be somewhere that particular weekend, and a lot of times it's scheduled on top of your crown jewel events, and definitely like going to the Topless, Eldor, places like that.
So, man, is that going to be on your guys' schedule this year? Are you guys going to hit those two shows specifically?
Well, I haven't even looked that far ahead. I just know normally there is a show scheduled on top of, the Topless and stuff. But if it's not, we're going to be at the Topless and World Dream and stuff like that. But, like I said, we get tied up in the points and we're following it, and then, we'll have to be at them state shows.
Well, speaking of the points, you guys are. You guys said we talked earlier today. You said you guys were tied going into the weekend, with Chris picking up the victory this weekend and putting 5 points ahead of you guys. I mean, obviously, 5 points. You're confident enough that this is going to go down. You guys can stay neck and neck the whole season. It seems like. Yeah,
Chris. He's definitely going to be hard to outrun. I mean, we have to stay consistent on our end because I know he's going to be there. Top. He's either going to win or, be in the top 2 or 3 every week. And for us to stay close to him, we're going to have to match that performance. So it's going to be hard, but, I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I said, really wasn't, planning on chasing points this year. But right now, the way it's going, I mean, that's the way it looks like it's going to go down is it'll be fun racing the rest of the year with it.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Mr. Thrash, the guy that runs the state series. What's it like racing for a series run by the Thrashes? I know Chad. I've known Chad's one of the first guys I really got to meet over in Mississippi when I started with Dirt on Dirt. Of course, you and then a bunch of the other guys. But Thrashes are good folks. What's it like racing for them?
Oh, I love racing for them. I mean, we've been hit and miss on the series for probably the last 10 years now, and the thing I like about Charles, I mean, he's straight up with you. He's going you're going to get the same thing out of him every week. You may not like his calls or judgment, but, I mean, he's going to be consistent. And, I mean, they're just, good group of folks to race for and race with. And I mean, I enjoy it. It's the best thing we have going on around here. And like I said, there's a lot of competition on the series. I mean, you have Neil Baggett and Rickman. You can't never count them out. They're going to be there every weekend there. And like I said, we just have to stay on top of our game, and if we want to continue to be up front in the points.
I mean, that's the thing over there. That's what we were talking about Chris, and of course, even if with the Neesmith guys, there's just so much freaking talent over there. It's just unbelievable. Both Rickman, like you said, Baggett. Then you got Robinson, teammate DeWall, yourself. There's no slouches. You're not going over there. There's some series, I guess you'd say, don't have as much talent as that. But, I mean, you can stack those guys up against some of the best, and you probably still put 50% of the top 10 in the top 10 of another race. But, well, all right. Well, David, we appreciate taking your time out this Monday to talk with us here on In the Dirt. Before we let you get out here, I want you to thank some of the sponsors and also thank some of the guys that turn the wrenches on the car for you.
The main thing, I have to thank Wayne and Corey and Brandon. Like I said, they work on the cars all week long. They do the hard part. Like I said, I'm just lucky one that gets to drive it. We've got to thank Mr. Leon Henderson, L&D Trucking, ASI Racewear, Hoosier Tires, Oleans, and Cornet Racing Engine.
Well, we certainly appreciate taking your time. Have you guys got a website?
Yes, I think it's HendersonMotorsports.net, I think.
Let me see. Go check out HendersonMotorsports.net for more on the Henderson race team and David Breazeale. Good luck chasing Chris Wallace. Looks like it's going to shape up to be a pretty good season between you guys, and we'll catch you at the Speedway, man.
Well, I hope he's chasing me and not chasing him the rest of the year.
No, not the rest of the year. I'm sure it's going to get mixed up over there. I mean, it looks like you two are kind of getting out in front there. It should be interesting between you guys the rest of the season, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
All right. David Breazeale, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, sir. That Henderson guy has got a ton of cars.
Yeah, they do. They do. Scott Creel, the 10 car. I've got some great video of the 10 car. I was over at Why Not Speedway, and I was doing a little B-roll footage for Rodney Wing, and I was on the infield getting some shots trying to had a high shutter speed and trying to get some good slow-mos, from the inside of the track and use the zoom. When I walked over the front stretch, and I was going to catch him coming off one and just be zoomed in tight on the race car all the way down the front stretch, and I zoomed in on a Creel coming off of turn number 4. He bobbled and was coming right at me. I didn't hold the shot. I chickened out way early. way early.
Early.
Well,
you thought it was in you. Well, you didn't have that whatever that vision thing is we were talking about.
Well, the only reason I didn't is because when I walked over there, I think I like Webb. I like me. I mean, if you ever hear of me ending up dead, it was because of a murder, not because of suicide. And so every time I always kind of do a little safety check, and I predetermine whether I need to be where I'm at shooting. It's like the inside of turn 1 at Volusia this year. I was in a flag stand for a minute. We've got Austin Hubbard calling in on the cell phone. Hey, Austin.
You're calling. Hey, just put him up to the mic.
Well, you're not late. You're just calling the wrong number.
Tell him he needs to call me.
Call 646. Do you guys hear that? I don't know what that is.
What's that?
I'll just text. I'll text Austin. That was terrible. I don't know. We had a bad connection or something. He just called the wrong number, but that's fine. I'll text him. Bring on Suave. Bring on Suave for a minute.
Rico Di Suavo.
Welcome to the program, Derek Kessinger.
How's it going, Webb?
What's up, Suave? Flo?
Oh, just getting back from the mothership, getting ready to eat some dinner at home.
Well, give us a first-hand account of the NDRL races.
Oh, man, it was one of the most electrifying fields you'll probably see all year. I mean, there was only 50 cars there, but they were 50 damn good ones, that's for sure. Both tracks are racy. Paducah was a little rough Friday, but for that track, after a lot of water, they did the best they could. The race was still entertaining.
Hey, was this guy there?
Track hero! And
was he there?
I'm a big fan of this unsanctioned races where there's you can get every single sanctions, like both sanctions, like Lucas Oil guys and World Outlaw guys, all in the same park, and then get to watch them race. So it was pretty entertaining to watch it for sure.
Well, let me ask you a question. A couple guys, and watching the highlights, a couple guys, I think, proved that they belong. And one of the guys that proved that they belonged was Randy Weaver.
Yeah, he did good. He Friday night he made the show, and he was running good in his heat race. And Saturday he did good again. I mean, he's a good Southern racer that people in the Midwest don't get to see very much. So it was guys like him and other guys around the country that, I mean, Jimmy Owens, he hasn't been to Peabody since 1998 when he won last. And, you know, seeing him there, Missouri and Illinois fans love to see those guys in the Midwest cover the Midwest. So that was pretty sweet to see.
Well, do you think that I've been talking to Randy Weaver all season, you know that. But do you think that anybody else thought, hey, there's that Randy Weaver guy, look at him. Did you think that? Did you foresee him doing any better or worse than he did?
No, I think it definitely helped him. I mean, I had questions about him because I don't get to see him race. So it was good to see him race finally. I probably haven't seen him race in a while, maybe at the World 100 a couple times. But, there's some people there. What impressed me was Bobby Pierce, 16 years old, and he's going up against a World 100 type caliber field, and he got 6 the other night at Paducah.
Yeah,
he's really coming along. So, I mean, they're all good drivers.
I got a question, and I got to interrupt you, D-Swab, because I have a beef with that. Why does it have to be Bobby Pierce 16 years old? Why can't it just be Bobby Pierce?
I don't know. I just call him 16.
Right.
A lot of people could not do that at age 16. Maybe the only other one would be Josh
deal,
Richter.
dude. I mean, big freaking deal.
Hey, Brian, here's the reason. Because Lisa wouldn't let D-Swab walk to the store by himself at 16.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, man.
I had to give
Bobby Pierce has some of the best equipment around. He's got probably one of the greatest guys teaching him how to drive a race car. If he doesn't have the best team behind him, I don't know who else does. Bob Pierce, his father, is one of the most badass guys you've ever seen. He's a badass car builder. He's a badass racer. Bobby Pierce does not need to be called a 16-year-old. Bobby Pierce needs to be Bobby Pierce. I'm tired of this bull crap. This kid outran this guy. This girl's faster than this guy. Get over it. It's making everything crappy. It's unattractive.
Everybody else in that field has just as good equipment, if not better, than Bobby Pierce is.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm talking about Bobby Pierce, 16 years old. No, leave the 16 years old out of it. Just let him be Bobby Pierce, because in 2 years, are you going to say Bobby Pierce, 18 years old? Hell no, you're not going to.
Yeah.
You're going to say Bobby Pierce.
For the record, Suave, that was my other driver that I was going to say, the two guys that impressed me this weekend. And not that Weaver, it didn't impress me that Weaver did well. It impressed me that it was who he did well against is what was good. Because
that's for sure.
that gave him more of a national recognition for doing well against that, like you said, the World 100 type field. Well, Suave, before we don't go away, I'm going to bring on our last guest of the evening. He was scheduled for 6:45, so stay with us. But we're going to continue with Mr. Austin Hubbard McSling. First of all, where the heck does McSling
hold on, Wes.
come?
Make sure you put his age in there.
I don't know how old Austin is. Mr. Austin, you there? You with us?
Yeah, how are you, bud? Sorry, hopefully you can hear me. I got my phone. I've dropped it a couple times in the last month on the road, so I only have speakerphone.
Well, that's fine. Well, honestly, today I called it like 3 different times, the same number, and Verizon was telling me that I was dialing it wrong. So I thought, well, I'll try to text you, and that worked. But anyway, we got it done.
I'm sorry for all the drama. I was trying to get through. I've had a bunch of phone drama ever since I got it about a month ago.
Well, we have a lot of drama sometimes on this program, so it fits in perfectly. How do you come about the nickname McSling, by the way?
I don't know. I think it was all me and my friends were kind of joking around, and all of us had nicknames. Like my brother's Danger, and my other friend that I raced with, he's Rowdy, and they decided my name was McSling, and I was with it.
I hear you. Now, I got to meet you when you kind of first burst onto the scene, and I filmed your win at Screven when you did the Ricky Bobby in your skivvies. Take us back to those days, and are we going to see that anymore? The Ricky Bobby I'm on fire bit.
I don't know. I'm a grizzled veteran anymore. I feel a little bit washed up. I mean, I've been racing and doing this stuff for a while now, but I mean, nights like that is what make you come back and do it the next weekend, and just chasing that feeling and that next win. That's what every race car driver races for, and I feel like if we've learned a lot, we're getting better, and it's just it's a tough road. It'll definitely humble you.
Well, and speaking of the tough road, you guys you had the ride with the Bittler. I'm sure I said that wrong. But you had that ride, Tim Logan, the Tim Logan deal. I mean, it's just one of those things where you're just having to find a ride. Now, how on earth did you get with Stapleton?
Well, I knew Chad a little bit before, just from East Bay and racing at places that he's been to. Cause he's kind of right in the Lucas ring where you can run a lot of the races because they're pretty close to Indiana. And I was in Brownstown, and I didn't want to come home because we were racing at Jackson in Texas in like 2 weeks, and it's almost a day away from my house. And those races were actually supposed to be the week between these two NDRL races, and then they rained out. But we ended up, after Brownstown, I was thinking about going to Masterbuilt because I had a car that was a little bent, and Chad was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "Well,
you didn't wear mediums?"
What's that?
No.
Hang on a second. mute D-Suave. D-Suave forgot he was on the radio. Go ahead. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So we ended up at Chad's, and I've been there about 3 weeks now. But he ended up having he got a hernia and had to get surgery on Monday. And we knew those races were paying pretty well, and I had been to the tracks before, and I didn't have LM tires with me. And he's like, "Well, maybe you could just stay here and run my cars and fly out." And I thought that was a pretty good idea because they were good paying races, and they were going to be definitely you were going to be racing the best of the best even before the Outlaw race dropped. And once it dropped, you knew that it was going to be probably one of the best fields you were going to see of the year.
Oh, just looking at the stuff on Dirt. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an unsanctioned race this early in the season pull that much outside, and it's been said outside of Florida and speed weeks. So, are you guys back racing your stuff, or what's moving forward? Are you going to be doing more with Stapleton, or are you racing out your guys' shop? What's coming in the future?
I think Chad is just kind of healing up, and he'll go back to racing. I mean, Chad's a pretty nice guy, and he's good to a lot of people. I mean, Bubs drove his car, and Steve has, and he's definitely open to learning stuff and open to putting other people in his cars to see what he can learn or what I can learn from him, or being in different cars, which that his car is definitely totally different from mine, from the shocks to the motor, the chassis. So it's a good learning experience for everybody, and I think, maybe in the future we might be able to do something again. And but for now, I'm sure he'll get back in his car once he gets a little healed up and hit the road again.
All right, now you got it. Okay, Alan Bradley has messaged me, and he says that Stapleton, Bub, and Austin is a dangerous combination. It would be trio, actually, but you have to give us an inside look at Stapleton, Bub, and Austin. So give us some story from the time you spent with the other two of them.
The whole thing was just fictional. The whole 3 weeks. I mean, I was laughing my butt off pretty much every day. I mean, those guys are hilarious. Bub, he's something else. He's a old school logger type guy, and he's from Mississippi, and he's a fun guy to be around. We did a lot of R Factor. We had never played it before, and one of the guys, Chad, just got it set up, so it was pretty fun, us battling each other, trying to put down the hot lap at LaSalle and some of the other tracks we were racing at on the computer. It was pretty funny.
The only track I've ever raced on R Factor is Falls and Fairbury, as they say, and I won there in a Bloomquist chassis. Everything else couldn't even keep it off the wall. So
no way. We were bouncing it off the wall left and right, and rolling them over, blowing the right fronts out, blowing up. We struggled there for a while, but we got it together towards the end of the week. Of course, it's time to go home.
So, Austin, tell us a little bit about Chad's cars. I mean, they're different from the ones you drive, right?
Yeah, he runs a very right chassis.
What do you think about that stuff? Like, give us an idea what kind of power he's got underneath that thing.
Chad's got a really good race car. I mean, he's got good equipment. He's got good help behind him, and he's open to learning stuff, which is a big part of everything. I mean, he hasn't been in them very long. I think about 3 years, and he's coming a long way pretty quickly. So I think he's got a good program. I think Barry and those guys have a good car. As you can see, Davenport and Francis and Landers, they're definitely fast. There's plenty of other guys that go good in those cars. I think all the chassis will go. I think you just got to figure out a way to get them going, and from there you just try to roll on and get some wins. But finding that sweet setup or the way you like the car compared to how the chassis handles, it takes time.
How close were you to getting a Mohawk during that 3 weeks?
Pretty close. He was threatening the whole time, and I actually ended up getting a chunk of Chad's hair with the clippers after I-55. He had to shave his head, so he says I got it coming.
Damn.
Yeah, when I first read that, Brian, I was like, you know what? If Austin doesn't come away with a mohawk, then Bub didn't do his job.
I'm thinking at Eldora I probably won't have any eyebrows. He swears he's not going to forget. It was pretty funny. He was threatening to cut everyone's hair all weekend, and then he put it against his head as a joke and thought he cut his hair. And I was telling him how bad it was and I had to even it up, and he was like, "Oh, all right." He gave me the clippers, and I just took a chunk out of the side of his head.
So you anticipate not having any eyebrows? Well, I will have to make sure I get a picture of that or share it on Facebook or something.
It was too funny. He's something. Yeah. I had a great time, and they're great people. Chad's one of the nicest guys that, honestly, I've ever been around. Probably one of the funniest too. So he's a good person to have around.
Well, that's the thing about what intrigued me the most about you being on, teaming up with those guys is Bub's a character and has great personality. So's freaking Stapleton. So do you. I mean, it just seems like that. You guys somebody should fund that, and then
Mafia.
Yeah, then they should have me come film it. I should document it, and it should be a movie or a reality show, because it'd be better than Duck Dynasty.
They're constantly Frenching and messing with each other, and you sleep with one eye open around there.
I bet you do. Well, all right. Well, Austin, we don't want to keep you. I know it's Monday. You just got home from the races over the weekend, so. First, appreciate you taking time out of your Monday to talk with us. Tell your father thank you for help setting it up. Before we let you get out here, thank some of the guys that helped work on the race car and any of the sponsors that you guys are toting around this year.
Absolutely. I definitely appreciate you guys having me on, and it's been great. You guys have been funny. I'm sorry that I was late. I was just trying to get it all together with my phone, but definitely. Got to give my man Alan a shout out. Of course, he's all over racing, and he does a lot for a lot of people in racing, and he's continued to help more and more people, and a lot of people know him and appreciate him. And I'm definitely one of those guys. And definitely, Hoosier Bob, I'm a big Ravens fan. We're excited for 2013 season, but he's definitely a lot of help. Transport. Sunoco, got to thank Chad Stapleton for letting me race his car this weekend and help me out and give me a good time, and my dad and everybody who's been out there supporting me and coming to the races anyway. Even if you're not a fan of mine, just going to the races helps my world. So I hope you guys continue to come out and fill the stands.
Hey, before you go, Austin, we want to play a song. It's a short song for you, and I want you to see if you can guess who it might be about.
All right.
You game?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
It's be a dirt track hero with dope in his eyes. He's a dirt track hero. He's gonna change the tires. Track hero with dope.
Now, who would you? I mean, just offhand, who might that be?
Scott's quite the legend. I have to say he's probably the hero of the dirt track.
Well, yeah,
that's a wrong answer.
Who is it then?
Well, it's really nobody.
Really, it's just a test to see what I'd say.
Well, no, yeah.
Hey, he is one of the most legendary dirt drivers of all time.
Of course.
Two.
We're not disputing that. I'm just saying it.
There is no wrong answer, though.
There's no wrong answer.
That's the beauty of it. There is no wrong answer. So I was wrong for saying that was wrong, but
no.
No, you're fine. As long it was who did that song? That's pretty funny.
Well, actually, I came up with the words, and Brian, my co-host, he produced and played the music.
quite an acoustic environment. Beautiful singing.
Yeah, we're known for being pretty dumb on the show sometimes. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Austin. We've got a line of communication now. We're going to keep tabs on you. I tell you what, I want a show of you, Bub, and Stapleton. I want to have sometime this summer. I want that to be our show.
Well, it might have to be on HBO.
Well, no, we're not bound by the FCC on the internet, so it's fine. And I'll put the NC-17 label on it.
We can drop any words we would like.
Well, I'll keep tabs on you, and I'll let you all know at the same time. And also, do me a favor, check out inthedirtradio.com, and you can probably go find I'll put a Stapleton classic up on there.
I'd love to see.
Webb,
go ahead.
Webb, I bet Austin knows what a merkin is.
Enjoy yourself.
Wait, real quick, Brian had a question. What, Brian?
I said I bet that Austin knows what a merkin is.
A merkin?
You know what a merkin is?
Yeah, like an American man.
That's what I said, but it's not that. Don't fall for his tricks, Austin. We'll talk at you later, man.
All right, bud. Thank you.
Austin Hubbard. See, listen, are you kidding me, Gray? We need to get that show done. Austin, Hubbard, or Austin and Bub and Stapleton.
Austin, Bub, and Stapleton, and put them all in a room with like those little shears.
Oh my gosh! If Hubbard loses his eyebrows and doesn't take pictures, I'm gonna be so mad.
Dude, you know Chad's gonna get him.
D-Suave, welcome back. Turn your computer down, by the way.
What's up?
Did you hear that? That was great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was good.
I can't wait to do the Hubbard, Bub, Stapleton special.
That'd be sweet. Then we got to do a Ledford, Curl, and Kessinger special.
That's right. We'll do that.
Derek, can you explain to Webb what a merkin is?
A merkin?
A merkin.
Is it one of those like penguins from Happy Feet?
That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Man, I bet you that Jim Moon would know.
Well, yeah, he's a legend. I figured he would.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. Okay, hey, did you? We're about to turn loose my top 25. Are we going to talk about your top 25, Mr. Kessinger?
Yeah, I got a couple. I can remember a couple.
Oh, I got mine right here. I got yours right in front of me.
All right. We'll see who's better. We'll ask the audience who has a better top 25. Probably me.
All right. Here, number 25. Derek first, then Webb.
All right. Number 25 in the Derek Kessinger D-Suave top 25 would be Steve Shaver.
Actually, I switched that because I switched it after you. I was Chris Simpson at 25, but that was the only change.
Okay, it's the only change. So he brings in Chris Simpson. Okay, my 25 is Blankenship.
Oh, Johnny, he did pretty good this week, and he had a fast car at Paducah, but then got a little flat tire and that ended his night, but he was really fast.
Me and his dad Don are boys. We hung out in Green Valley. 24 for Kessinger is Marlar. 24 for me is Steve Shaver. Continuing on, 23 Will Vaught for Derek Kessinger. I have my bud Bub McCool. 22 would be Jared Landers for Mr. Kessinger. Jason Fager, fresh off the big huge win. I got to get back a hold of him. By the way, moving up.
Oh yeah, big Fager news.
Why do you have Fager so low? Let me ask you. Why do you have Fager so low?
Because some other people did like Bobby Pierce as a whole has done better.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but Fager won a big race, 20,000.
Yeah, but Scott James is above him. Yeah, you might got me in there, but okay.
I think what you're missing, Webb, is maybe. Do you think on any given night that Bobby Pierce would outrun Jason Fager?
Well, no, I mean, no, I don't. I think that there's enough variables at the dirt tracks that on any given night anybody can win. I mean, I don't mean that bad. I think that they're very. Pierce is doing a little bit better this year. I mean, granted, he did the Illini 100 is a huge win for the biggest win for Fager. You know what? That may just be a mistake by me. How about that?
Yeah, it's all right, Webb. I go on my voting is how they've done so far, and if they were all in the same building, every dirt track, who would win? And I just think Fager is up there. Would be one of the top choices. Because I have him at 13th, I think, 12th or 13th.
Yeah, but
he's way down there.
I don't know that, and I like the guy. I mean, he's one of my favorite guys to even talk. I mean, to talk to. He's a good dude. But I mean, the body of work, some of the other guys that are above him is better, and we'll get to that.
What I would do, and this is just me, if I was picking, I would have to imagine these guys racing at a real racetrack in the TAC, like at Union County Speedway. So Fager versus Bobby Pierce at Union County in the Rocks.
Let's just say this: the top 25 was well represented at the two races this past weekend, and I kind of put the two finishing orders side by side today, and that's how I kind of did my deal. And I didn't do it based on solely how they performed and finished at these two races, but body of work. And I mean, when we get to the top, I didn't even see what your top. Yeah, I mean your top changed too. But anyway, let's go for it. I'm gonna finish yours by itself. It's just too hard. Turn that off. This 21st in the.
You're like the angry dad.
When somebody's got the computer turned up. It's funny. All right, so 21st you got Blankenship, 20 Shirley for you, 19 Bab, 18 Eric Wells for you, Steve Casebolt 17th, Bobby Pierce your 16th, Scott James your 15th, Eckert 14th, Fager 13th, Francis in your top 12, Jimmy Mars 11, top 10 for you is Jonathan Davenport, Scotty Bloomquist. Shane Clanton at number 8, number 7 Billy Moyer, number 6 Brian Bierkoffer. It is Bierkoffer from now on. Bierkoffer,
yep.
Bierkoffer,
former
Bierkey.
Bierkey Light. Dennis Irv at 5 for D Suave. Darrell Lanigan tumbles to 4. Don O'Neill 3. Jimmy the Nightmare. Newport Nightmare Owens at 2, and Josh Richards with the stranglehold in your poll. I think everybody's poll at number 1.
It was tough for me because Owens and Richards, I just had a debate because, I mean, they're both obviously good in each of their division, but I just went with the Richards this week. But I almost put Owens number 1.
Now, I ended at 22 to Fager. 21, I have Randy Weaver. 20, Brian Shirley. 19, Eric Wells. Scott James at 18. 17, Jared Landers. Shannon Babb, 16. Bobby Pierce, 15. Eckert, 14. Casebolt, 13. Jimmy Mars, 12. 11 is Steve Francis. 10, Billy Moyer. Jonathan Davenport, 9. Brian Bierkoffer, 8. Lanigan tumbles to 7 in my poll. Scott Bloomquist.
Apparently he's waiting, expecting...
Number 6, Shane Clanton. Number 5, Herb at 4. O'Neill, 3. Jimmy Owens to number 2. Josh Richards, number 1.
That's pretty good, Webb.
Well, I mean, I just think that... I just try to stack them up against one another, you know. And it's like in football. Football, I don't think that they really compare. Like, you know, well, would Boise State play this bullshit schedule, whatever? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do it to where it's you got to beat the man to be the man.
Okay, why do you have Bloomquist ahead of Darrell Lanigan? Darrell Lanigan at Volusia did better than him every race besides one.
Lanigan's not racing. I mean, so at some point I dropped Berkey when he wasn't racing. So I mean, I'm trying to stay true to what I did with everybody.
But in Darrell's defense, Webb, he is.
I know.
No problem.
No problem.
They're expecting the child, but you know what? Once the baby's born and the north-south comes around and he's not there, it'll be something else.
This is a very fluid situation. There's 20 or 30 of us poll voters, whatever. It's a fluid. I mean, Bierkoffer, Bierkey Light, that guy, he dropped in everybody's poll early in the season because he wasn't racing. He started out high.
Not me. I kept him in the top 13.
But he still dropped. He's still. I had him in the top 15 or so, and he's dropped. And as soon as he came back, heck, as soon as he raced, he won. So
yeah.
you shoot up a little bit, and he's continuing to run well. I think he had 2 top 10s this weekend. I don't have to pull up anymore, but
he got third at Peabody.
Yeah, so see, I mean, he's running against that field.
Actually got second at Peabody, my bad.
I was saying second, yeah. So at that field, with that field of cars, I mean, it's fluid. It'll be fluid. If Flanagan would have went to those races, barring whatever reason is keeping him away, he would have probably either stayed at 2 or maybe went to 1. I mean, he would have challenged Richards for sure. Now, is Richards is he going to have a monster year, Derek?
I think so, because he had a good car. He had easily a top 5 car the other night, and then he broke after he got passed by Owen. But definitely Richards is on a tear this year. I think he's just, after trying to do that NASCAR stuff, it's just adding fuel to the fire, and he's supposed to go out there and win every race, and I think he can. And
Davenport he was about ready to make a statement when the tire blew on. I mean, he had a laundry list of problems, but when that tire blew up on him, I mean, he was coming. But it looked like in the video anyway, but he was driving the hell out of that 49 car.
Oh yeah, he was looking real good too. That was like, cause me and Joshua Joyner had a little discussion about him last week, and I was saying how somebody got him a first place vote, but then I had my doubts since last year he didn't do so good. But yeah, he was running really good at Paducah. He had some bad luck, and then he just ended up going home after that to get the car fixed up.
Well, he'll run off these wins in bunches. He did. Now last year, I don't know. And he said on the program here that it was just not a very good marriage there at Clint Boyer's shop.
Yeah,
but
I think it's the curse of the 15 Georgia boot this year. Steve Francis is kind of struggling in it.
Yeah, is that, man? We don't want to have a curse on a good sponsor like Georgia Boot.
Well, they make some good boots, but that car has just been struggling the last couple of years.
And he's not the only one struggling. Landers is struggling too.
Yeah, that is true.
What is up with Landers? What do we think about Landers? I mean, you really want that guy to do well. I mean, talking to the dude's funny. He's a good dude, but getting it done seems to be a problem.
What the hell is that echo?
I don't know. It sounds like somebody's got the computer on. But anyway, is Landers? What's your guys' opinion on Landers? Brian.
If I stated my opinion, I might get sued.
Well, how can you get sued?
Well, honestly, I think he might be having some. I think he might be having some personal issues.
Oh well, then don't say anything if that's what you think.
That's what I think.
I don't know.
I mean, look. The guy went from, absolutely being on the rise, on the climb, and then now it's just like he's just fallen from grace or something. I don't know.
Suave?
I don't know. I thought maybe for sure, like 2 or 3 years ago, he's like one of the top 10 drivers. But the last couple of years, he's been struggling. I don't know if it's the car or whatnot. Maybe it's the number change. I don't know. He was running good. He was running with Richards the other night, and then he had a flat tire and bad luck, and I think his battery went off too. It was bad. So I don't know. I think some of the tracks are favoring him, and some of the tracks are not. I mean, I think he's more of a hammer down driver, not a dry slick guy. So that could hurt him a lot.
It could be the Kentucky Blue that they're using.
Yeah, that could be too. I don't know.
Maybe it's bad luck blue.
That would depress me. I'd make a change this weekend, Jared. Just whatever next race is, to show up in a plain black car with just peak on the front of it, and then see if the blue is blinding. The blue could be blinding.
It could be, or get the 777 car out again.
Yeah, bring out the old one. Bring out the topless magic you had, and run that car. So what?
Did things change? I know that it's changed. Things change really quick, but to go from winning the topless to basically being shot out of a cannon to just, he's just not performing. But you know what? If you really look at it, maybe it's Boyer Racing that's not performing.
I was wondering why nobody said that first.
That could be. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say, because like we just got done saying that Steve Francis is not exactly setting the woods on fire. Landers is not setting the woods on fire. and the guy you get rid of goes and wins 3 or 4 races in a row, one of them being a $30,000 win event, and it looks like the right thing was for him to leave that situation. So, is the problem the shop? Is it Clint Boyer? Is he not putting what he needs to into this race team?
That is a very good point. I mean, and maybe that's the reason why Davenport walked away.
Common denominator right now, in just deductive reasoning, is Clint Boyer, Mr. Fancy Pants. I won't be going to a NASCAR race. He'll chase me down and beat me up like Gordon.
Who, by the way, though, Webb, was a pretty cool guy.
Who's that? Clint
Boyer.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I mean, I just want to give somebody a Facebook quote.
Did you know Webb Dillard on this dirt was insulting you, Clint?
Called you Mr. Fancy.
I think he was insinuating that you were a cheap ass.
No. I'm just. You got to ask the questions. I mean, you have to ask the questions.
Or maybe Webb. You know, him being a NASCAR guy, he wants to play by the rules. Maybe playing by the rules is costing him.
I don't even mess with the. Oh,
that's the whole thing. Everybody else is just cheating.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right, Schwab. What's on the schedule for you coming up as a dirt on dirt cameraman?
I think this week I'm doing the Mars UMP/Corn Belt Clash at Tri-City, Burlington, Iowa at I-34, and then on Sunday at Quincy. I think I'm doing all 3 of those. They'll have a good mixture of cars. You get like Jesse Stovall and all them up to Illinois against the UMP guys, and you get like the Simpson brothers from the Corn Belt Clash. So it'll be a good show.
Yeah, Stovall is a alum of In the Dirt. Good dude. I'll be
one
going
of my new favorite drivers, by the way.
Oh yeah, he was very candid with his opinions on the show, wasn't he?
Yeah. The Simpson boys, they're not going to do nothing. They come out that way and start racing with those Illinois guys, and it's done.
Yep, that's what I think too. But I know Stovall did good last year when they raced at I-55 until him and Bab got into it. So I think Stovall has a good chance to Tri-City. I think that track will favor him pretty good.
Here we go. Greater than, less than. Chris Simpson, Jason Feger.
Less than.
Exactly.
Simpson less than Fager?
Oh, God, yeah. There's how many? 90% of the guys are less than Fager. No balls.
All right. Let's try that again. Do another one. Let's do greater than, less than. Shannon Babb, Randy Weaver.
That's who I was thinking of, dude. You read my mind.
Greater than.
Wow. How far?
I have to go with less than.
Ooh, how far behind is Weaver then, Kessinger?
Well, it's kind of hard. I think it's hard to tell because Babb finished higher in both races, but those are his Illinois tracks. If you take Babb down to tracks like Randy Weaver, I would say Babb would have a little trouble on those.
So Southern All-Stars versus UMP.
Oh, no question, UMP. You know me.
What?
Greater than.
Yeah. I pretty much have to agree with Kessinger.
Hey, we need to do the parody song. You down with UMP? Yeah, you know me. We got to do that. You got to make that happen.
I'm not down with UMP, but I just don't think that those guys from the South can compete with anybody from Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, or Illinois.
So you're trying to start, and this is a play on words. I don't mean this literally. It's a play on. You're starting a race war there. You realize that, don't you?
Here, I put it here. Let's put it like this. All right. Jeep Van Warmer, Randy Weaver at Eldora. Who wins?
Jeep Van Warmer.
Bottom line.
Yeah, but you bring those guys down here. You bring those guys down here like to Wynot or to Cleveland or to I don't know.
We'll say Tazewell.
Why not though, Webb? Why not though?
Jeep
Billy Boyer and Brian Burkhofer, everyone races there.
Say again.
Brian Burkhofer and
True.
Billy Boyer, who won most of the UMP races, went down there and won.
That's right. But I'm saying if the tracks up there are so much different than what they're here, if Weaver ran the UMP schedule and Bab would come run the Southern All-Star schedule, I think you'll see similar results on either side of that coin.
You'd see Bab win every race.
Do I think he'll win every race?
No, he would win every race.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, yeah. I don't know about that. I mean...
I'm trying to push it here.
Yeah, you are. A little bit.
How about we get the UMP and Southern All-Stars to do a little North versus South Nationals?
I think we've
been trying to get them to do the Mason-Dixon 100.
I want all of them to nut up, every series to nut up, and have the top 7 to 10 guys from each series just meet at a track somewhere in central location, and we'll just see. We'll have a week's worth of racing.
Obviously, the race is going to be at Falls.
But you do it at some hole-in-the-wall racetrack that nobody knows about. That's the only way to do it. Some place that doesn't have a Crown Jewel event or a national touring series that comes through, like at 191 Speedway in Campton, Kentucky.
Hole-in-the-Wall, Tennessee. Hole-in-the-Wall. I don't know how you say it, but it sounds like hole-in-the-wall. It's Hole-in-the-Wall, Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee International or something like that. We have an East Smith racer, I believe.
That's the only. That's the only way I think to do it the right way, and it's got to be on some nasty bull ring that just has the worst track prep ever.
Oh, actually, a good track for this would be Albany. Actually, I can pronounce it Albany. Albany, Georgia's track would be awesome for just a no holds bar. 100 cars show up. Man, that'd be so much fun. There'd be so much bent sheet metal. There might even be gunshots in the pits.
or at Lake Cumberland Speedway would be a good one too.
Well, all right. Well, Suave, thanks for joining us. I thought you were going to be our third guy, but I guess not. Grigsby got you working overtime on Mondays?
Yeah. No, it's not that. I've been working there Mondays when I get all the video cats and video editing done. So just I would usually be working right now, but I got off work a little early, so I got to call in.
Hey, what's up with I got my new Dirt on Dirt hat, and it's got yellow on it.
It does?
Yeah, it was supposed to. Last one were orange on the dirt. Anyway.
Oh, you wanted to make it brighter so you could see it better because the last 2 years one was dull.
Oh, I like them both. I'm proud to have my new hat. I'm just saying it was different. I noticed it was different. It does show up better.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you later, Webb. You have a good show. And have a great week.
D-Swab, if you want any theme music, you have to come by more often.
All right, I will.
That's Derek Keshinger. He is the in-house editor, I guess, the video guy on Mondays at Dirt on Dirt. Thanks, D-Swab. Talk to you down the road, brother.
All right, see ya.
Oh, I just connected with Hollywood. I didn't mean to do that. I have to have him call back. I found out D-Swab and I are going to get to do some of the Hell Tour together, so that's going to be an interesting week or so of the first jaunt on it and then the last jaunt on it. Welcome back to the program, Brian Gray.
You dumped me.
I didn't mean to. Oh, goodness.
It was just welcome to, and it went dead. I was what the hell?
My bad, dude.
I didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
I said absolutely nothing about Chad Stapleton having nut surgery.
My, here we go. Well, I'd like to thank all the guests that stopped by this evening. I'd like to thank Mr. David Breazeale and Chris Wall. They race with the Mississippi State Series. You can check them out. Check out that series at stateseries.com. I'd like to thank and congratulate Colin Green for stopping by and getting that big win over the weekend, carrying on the Green family tradition in racing. I'd like to thank McSling, Austin Hubbard. Great interview. I really think that the show, when we do the Stapleton, Bub, and Hubbard show, that it's going to be one of our better shows. I'd put the kids a movie on somewhere else and go hide in a deep, dark place in your house. I'm not promising vulgarity, but I'm certainly warning you of it when we do that show. You got anything to close the show out, Mr. Gray?
Nothing today. Just this whole Boston thing just kind of blew my mind tonight.
I'm glad the show kind of picked up at the end, but I was plagued by it. So I apologize. It wasn't my best effort tonight. Just disgusting, man. Hopefully, we put a stop to other things that maybe that are going to try to do, or whoever. I don't even know who's responsible. I've heard 47 different organizations claiming responsibility. But the thing I can say, and I don't want to get too political or spiritual again, like I said earlier, but, dude, we're all people, man. We're all people. We can't blow each other up because we don't like something you do or say or whatever. Hell, if that was the case, we would have been blown up like 65 shows ago. I'm just saying. You can disagree. That's fine. This is bound to be a situation where somebody thinks that they're taking a shot at America, I guess, or U.S. That's just crazy, man. You're killing people that can't defend themselves, and you're doing it like a coward. If you're gonna try to kill me, at least let me try to kill you too. Let's do it. Let's have a duel. Slap me in the face with a glove. Not really. I don't want to die. Remember, if I ever get found dead, it's murder. It's not suicide. Exactly. Anything else, Brian?
Yeah, that's about it, Wed. Hopefully we get to go watch some racing this weekend. The weather, like right now it's 80 degrees outside. It's supposed to be in the 40s again come Friday. If it's cold, dude, I'm just not going.
All right, I'd like to invite everybody to go check out the new website, inthedirtradio.com. It's a work in progress, but the shows are archived there. Also, you should be able to, I'm pretty sure you can, it's been confirmed that you can listen to the show live on the website every Monday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Do the math if you live anywhere past the Mississippi. Also, there's advertising opportunities on the website. Call for details. You'll see the contact information. Brian, you have a blog to write, by the way.
Okay. So just keep a journal. I can post my random thoughts.
I will get you hooked up with your blog, and you're able to write as much as you like, as little as you like. What about what you would like? Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's your blog. It's your space. You can do whatever you want to.
Right on. So I can say anything at all.
Anything at all. But make sure you put make sure you put a disclaimer at the top of the page. That way, we're covered. But there is it is buried in the website, so it's not going to be front page. Neither is mine. XD4.
Hey, we still got all that stuff for sale.
XD4 noses and also the.
We got wheel covers, carbon fiber. We got lots of carbon fiber parts, man. I should push that stuff more.
We got a website, dude.
Oh, heck yeah. We could put some stuff up on there. Maybe we'll start giving a few things away.